Well, tell me, Noelle, is it hot enough for you?
Not quite, but I'm here for the beverages anyway.
Okay, of course you are. Then you're the perfect person to be with me today. We are celebrating summer on the porch. And we are going to go through and talk about different cocktails and the glasses, and then we will actually do some appetizers.
That sounds like fun.
So I think so. So this is Entertaining with Food and Spirit, and I am your guest host today, Susan Sage. And this is my guest, Noelle Gabay, who is the best party assistant a person could have. Anytime we entertain, Noelle and Carlo come over and help us with all our last-minute stuff.
You're very generous. We always learn something from you and Terry. Well, you in particular, but...
Oops. At least I didn't slam him this time. Okay, the first thing we're going to talk about are different glasses. And first, we have a rocks glass. And the reason, the flat bottom allows you to put just a single large ice cube. And, of course, mine are roses. From Four Roses Bourbon when we did the Kentucky Bourbon Trail.
So, Susan, in that glass, what kind of a beverage would you?
You could do an old-fashioned,
Okay.
or, I mean, even just if you wanted to do bourbon and cranberry juice, or bourbon and Coke.
So something mostly spirits?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Second, we have our tall, little more narrow, great for Bloody Marys or Tom Collins. We're going to use it for Pim's Cup. And this one's kind of fun because it has a recipe on it. We did try it.
And that one you can put a lot of ice in, too, I guess.
Yes, and tall enough for a celery stick or a pickle or okra or whatever you like as your garnish. Our next one, this is, and most people, or a lot of people may disagree, this is actually an Irish coffee glass. Where, you know, they start with the sugar cubes, and then I believe it's the coffee or the bourbon. I forget how it's with Irish whiskey. And I don't know if you know if whiskey from Kentucky is the only spirit that can be called bourbon. If whiskey comes from somewhere else outside of Kentucky, it's whiskey.
Well, now I know the difference. Thank you. I learned something.
First lesson. Okay, next, we have our coupe glass. And the coupe glass, this originally was champagne glass, but mainly the large mouth is for drinks without ice. So Brandy Alexander, Grasshopper, Pink Lady, they even said margarita.
Margarita without ice, I think, probably has without
A very
ice.
small margarita.
Very small one.
Yes. Martini glass. Does anybody know why the shape of the martini is? It's for sipping, so that you take it slow. And let's face it, martinis are pure alcohol, pure spirits. So, you know, and then of course you can always slide your olives.
Gin or vodka?
We do vodka.
Okay.
But yeah, you could do gin. I'm going to save this one. Your champagne flute, which, you know, this is champagne used to be, and now, you know, it's gone to this long, narrow. And the narrower openings are to actually dissipate bubbles. So when you're smelling or, you know, trying to get the aroma of your cocktail, then you don't have as much bubbling and losing, like if we were to top this with some Prosecco or champagne.
But you could still use the coupe for champagne glass?
Yes, you can.
If you like the look.
Again, like I said, champagne is served without ice, so absolutely. But I love these.
It's a pretty glass.
It's
very elegant.
I'm not sure how old it is. For sure mid-century or possibly before. Your good wine glasses. Red wine, white wine. I think most people know those, so got to include them because that's kind of an everyday staple, I think, for many, many people. Now, the most unusual, the Glencairn glass. This one was specifically developed for sipping bourbon. And here again, I said this narrow opening allows for less dissipation of bubbles, and your wider openings, of course, allow you more aromas. And for the shape of the glass, this is made by the Glencairn Crystal Company and was developed in 2000. What they did is brought 5 of the leading master blenders from around the world together to design this shape of glass.
So is there an actual way that you're supposed to drink brandy, just like there's a way you're supposed to test wine?
Test wine? Actually, yes. When you're going to do your bourbon, you put a little bit in and you kind of hold it and kind of suck in, get it going. And then you can do an actual sip. And I believe they call it the Kentucky Chew.
Interesting.
Yes. And we didn't talk about Nick and Nora. It looks like a mini wine glass, which, yes, it is, but it's also for aperitifs or liqueurs, if you're going to do a straight liqueur, brandy, or port, or whatever, after dinner.
That's an elegant glass. I
know,
really like that.
You know, and it's funny, again, we found that in Kentucky, and it was a brewery and a distillery. And this was the last thing that we tasted, and I forget what went in it. Thought the recipe was, well, it's somewhere. And the way they topped it with a cream, and what you did is turned a spoon upside down. Well, he just called it an inverted spoon. Mm-hmm. Well, of course, somebody had to ask, where do I get an inverted spoon? You just turn over your spoon.
That would be my question.
Well, you know, that could be anybody, really. But yeah, so we have different glasses here, but now you know a little bit about why each one is shaped for specific cocktails.
One of the things that you told me I wasn't aware of is that the stemware is designed this way so that your hand doesn't warm up your drink. Mm-hmm. Mine don't last long enough, but for those of you who sip your drinks, it's pretty ingenious, and I hadn't known that, so thank you for that tidbit.
Yeah, and you know, that's the one thing that I often wonder about with those the stemless wine glasses. Mm-hmm. You are warming that wine. So, and you know, you're supposed to have optimum temperatures, whether it's red wine or white wine. So I kind of steer away from them simply for that reason. Mm-hmm. Yes, they're easier to hold if you're having snacks or whatever. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, we are going to use our Tom Collins glass.
Okay, yay.
Yeah. And we're going to make a couple of different cocktails. We're going to do Pimm's, and then we'll...
Which did you want to start with?
Let's start with the Pimm's. And this I thought was funny. When you came over yesterday and we were talking about this, and you saw the Pimm's out, you said, oh, you're going to make Pimm's Cup. I never heard of it before my little book, Sipping on a Southern Porch, which is where I learned about the cocktail.
Well, full disclosure, I just saw it on the internet about 10 minutes earlier, but it sounded good, so.
Of course. And then, do you know what Pimm's comes from?
Is it gin?
It is.
Oh, I guessed right.
Yes, it is a gin-based liqueur. And I think I've only tried it once. So we don't have any ice in here, but we're going to put in 1.5 ounces of Pimm's and 4 ounces of lemonade.
Okay. And normally we would have ice in the glass, a lot of ice?
Yes.
Okay.
And fill it up.
So this will be extra strong?
This one will be.
And just in case anybody's interested?
Yes. Well, we have ice, but we'd have to take a hammer to it.
Okay.
So you know, since we're not at home, we can just grab.
That's fine.
And then we also have the cranberry sparkler, or also it's called a poinsettia, which I guess these cranberry drinks have many different names. But appropriate for this time of year if you're in Arizona because poinsettias grow wild there and they're in bloom right now.
Oh, that's a stretch.
If it's not
but that
too
works.
hot, I'm thinking. So anyway, this is fun. It's cranberry juice, and we actually did it in a pitcher. We already put the cranberry juice in here. And then we're adding, I think this is your favorite.
Triple sec, yes.
Yeah.
I love orange liqueur. I guess there's 3 kinds, right? Triple sec, Cointreau, and Grand Marnier.
Yes.
And is this the least expensive?
Yes.
And then they kind of go up in a ladder. But this would be fine for a cocktail.
Well, I think anytime you're mixing really doesn't matter. But if you're going to sit and sip, then your Grand Marnier on the rocks or
Well, actually,
Cointreau.
this is the triple sec bottle.
Yeah. A little bit of triple sec. And
Okay.
De Kuyper makes actually creme de menthe and creme de cocoa, and it's like all these.
All the good fruity stuff.
Yeah. You
So
betcha.
where would you like this?
We
young
are
lady?
going to put that into our cranberry,
Okay.
and then hopefully I'm not going to make a mess.
Are you adding sparkling?
Yes. So this goes in your champagne flute.
Okay.
And to do just a single drink
Nicely done.
is, do we remember?
Oh, for the champagne?
3 ounces of cranberry juice, a half ounce of triple sec, and then of
top
course
it
you
off.
top it with
Here, I'll
Prosecco.
hold it for you. It's my big job. There you go.
And of course, whenever you're doing
The
cocktails,
garnish. The garnish is important.
garnish and, wait, we want a few dried cranberries.
Oh, that's pretty. It's festive.
Yeah, and
So
I'm sure
we
it's
put that
very
here.
good.
That is our
Okay.
Pim's cup here.
Yeah.
Am I ready?
Shall we move this out so you can make your
Yes.
sangria?
So next we're going to be making a white sangria, and Susan selected the recipe from her Sipping on a Southern Porch book. So we're going to move these glasses a little bit. Hopefully you can see what we're doing here.
Here, I'll get these out.
The first thing you're going to need is a large pitcher, clear pitcher, because you want to show the colors of the fruit and that's going to be added into the sangria. It's going to be nice
Okay.
and colorful.
And start.
So,
We have 2 minutes.
okay. So the first thing we're going to do is going to add some nicely cut up fruit. These are green apples.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna keep.
You going to grab one for the glasses?
Yes.
Or you can grab some for the glasses. Some red apples and some oranges. And Susan cut them up nicely for us, so we do not have to do that ourselves here today because we'd be here all day. And then into the fruit, we're going to add some Saint Germain
You want to do your Chardonnay?
next. Yeah.
Okay.
Saint Germain is a liquor was elderberry.
Yeah, it's an elderberry liqueur, and it's made in France. And it's wonderful.
It's
very
actually
sweet.
quite good.
We have a minute. Fast.
Next, we have our triple sec. And
Fresh squeezed orange juice from the other half of the orange.
now this wine is moderately priced. You don't have to use expensive wine since it's going to be mixed with a lot of other ingredients.
Okay.
So just a moderately priced wine will do. And then the very last thing you'll do before you add it to your glasses is you'll add
No,
some,
add to the glass.
or you
We'll
want to add
pour-
it to the
yes.
glass.
Put your sangria into your
You
glass.
should really stir this so it's nicely mixed up.
I don't have one.
I'm not going to use my finger on camera, but this is what your sangria will look like. And it's got multiple types of liquor in it and some nice Chardonnay.
Okay, put your sangria in,
There you go.
and you top it with sparkling water. There you go. Perfect summer light cocktail.
Pretty summer.
So we are now going to take a little break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about snacks to have with all these wonderful drinks.
Hello, I'm Dave Todd, president of Todd Films. We work alongside Bella Vista Community Television to produce some of the content you see aired here. Have you thought about reaching your customers through a television ad? We have several options for you to consider. They range from coming to our studio here, or going to your place of business, or on location. Once you have your commercial, Bella Vista Community Television has several options for you to consider for airing your commercial. Do you have a live event that you would like to capture on video? We also offer live production packages that may be of interest. Please continue to tune in to Bella Vista Community Television. We hope you are enjoying this program. And now back to the show.
Welcome back. Well, we've finished the drink portion of our show, and now we're going to talk about a few little snacks, and very, very easy. First, we have these sweet and spicy almonds. And
Can you tell me what the flavor is? Sweet and spicy?
cayenne and sugar.
Okay.
It actually, very easy to do. You put the almonds just on a baking sheet in the oven for 10 minutes, heat them up. But in the meantime, in a big frying pan, you want to put water, olive oil, and honey. So when you take them out of the oven, you put them in the pan to get them very well coated, and then have a separate bowl with your sugar, salt, and cayenne.
Okay.
And then you dump them into the bowl, make sure everything gets coated, put them back on the cookie sheet, and let them come to room temperature. I like to leave them overnight and put a towel on them, because that way they're all separated. And you can see these are not clumped together. There's not big chunks of sugar or salt or...
They smell
Yeah,
good.
they're good.
Now, they're not super hot, right? Because some things make me cry.
No, we didn't use any ghost peppers or...
I had
Habaneros.
some ghost pepper cheese the other day, and that's the last time I'll have ghost pepper cheese.
Yeah, it's pretty hot. And that could go with your cranberry sparkler
That sounds good.
or with your sangria. But then here we have these cheese sausage balls. Just a delightful
These
little
look
bite.
delicious.
Yeah, they and it's, well, the recipe is very easy, and it's on the back of the Bisquick box. So it's just sausage. We used a hot Italian sausage, cheddar cheese, Parmesan cheese, the Bisquick, milk, mix it all together, a little bit of rosemary, a little bit of parsley. Roll them up in little balls, put them on the tray, grease tray, and put them in the oven.
Those are a little heartier than the nuts. Those would be fill your belly a little more.
Yeah, and maybe absorb some of the alcohol.
Yeah. Well, I'm
Just
not
saying.
sure it's going to absorb enough, but
Well,
It's
it's
a
a
good
start.
Jinx.
And nice thing about something like this, you can make them ahead, put them on your baking sheet, and put them in the freezer. Freeze them individually. Then when they're frozen, put them in a plastic bag, and then you have them on hand if you should invite somebody over. Take them out, put them on the sheet, throw them in the oven.
so these are called
Sausage cheese balls.
Sausage
or
cheese
cheese
balls.
sausage,
Okay.
whatever. I don't know.
They look good. I'm anxious to try one.
Yeah, I heard they're
Smells
pretty. I
good,
haven't
too.
tried one yet either. And now we're going to build our charcuterie tray.
Okay, if you can pronounce that.
Yeah, I can.
I
I
just
can
say
do
meat
that.
and cheese tray.
So we have different cheeses.
Okay, let's show what we have here. Okay, this is
Pepper jack.
pepper jack, and then this is camembert.
Camembert. Yes.
Oh, I guess
a little
right.
bit stronger than brie, but oh my gosh, so good.
So yummy. Okay, and then this looks like sharp cheddar.
it is.
Sharp cheddar. I guessed again, but the yellow was
We're
kind
pretending
of a
our
giveaway.
hands are clean.
Well, actually, they are. Not to worry anybody that's going to sample these later.
What would put these over?
There you go.
Okay.
So we're separating them by color and type of cheese. I'm a little excessive with volume, so you'll have to stop me if I'm putting too
You
much
can
on.
stop anytime.
Okay.
And we do have some red apple slices that I'm throwing on
It's
the floor.
okay. The floor needs food.
It does. And I did, when I cut them, put a little bit of lemon juice. Just that.
These are good.
Yeah.
Do you want me to put these out?
Yes.
So what is this, Susan?
That is just summer sausage.
Okay, so here's some summer sausage for those of you that like the meat portion of the. Tell me again how you pronounce it.
Charcuterie. And we have some
I'm not good
assorted
with French.
crackers.
I'm not good with French words. That's probably why I only got to high school French. And I can't remember a word, not a word.
And I don't even remember
Except
if
for
I
wee
took
wee.
1 or 2 semesters when I was in high school. Not enough to go on.
Okay, is that enough?
That is enough. And then, of course, we have some grapes. Being summer, we want it to be nice and light. You know, we need to still fit in our shorts.
It's too late for that. Should have told me earlier.
Oh, well, I'll remember next time.
Well, that looks pretty.
Okay. And then, you know, we have to garnish.
Or-
It has to look pretty.
What would the French say?
We'll
That
just-
looks magnifique.
C'est magnifique.
Say magnifique.
Yeah.
It sounds better when you say it.
The other thing I have here, this is made with fresh local peaches. This is a peach jalapeno jam, and I do like to can, preserve, ferment, all that fun stuff in the kitchen. So this is a peach jalapeno jam, and really good. You take a cracker, put a little bit of the camembert, and then some of the peach jam on it.
We tried
Very,
that
very
yesterday. It was delicious.
Yeah, it was
delicious.
fun.
Susan cans all manner of things, fruits, vegetables, salsa.
Oh yes, lots of salsa. Oh, we forgot I like to just kind of sprinkle nuts. Now these are not the same as, these are pecans, and they're more of a sweet. And I don't remember what recipe, but we always like to take our fingers and dig in. Now the other thing that we have, and this might be getting too fancy, but I don't think so. I was the lucky recipient of the set of the cheese knives were a hostess gift for one of our parties. So anyway, the spatula is for your brie or camembert. Just dig right
Off you
in.
go.
Put it on your cracker. Ah! Drop it in the sausage. And then, of course,
A little bit of your jam.
yes, and the jam is not made with pectin or anything to thicken it, so it is a little loose. Same thing with the strawberry basil preserves that I make. You know, because they're preserved and they're made with fresh strawberries that I got at the peak of the season, you know, same thing. It's very loose,
It
but
has
so
chunks
good.
of peach in it.
Yeah.
And is that the jalapeno that I see in
The
there?
jalapeno, yes,
Okay.
the little specks are jalapeno. I'm trying to remember, I can't remember what else is in it, but you know, not a whole lot of ingredients. Sugar, of course, but the peaches are so good because they were so ripe. And we go to the farmer's market in Bella Vista just about every Sunday. And they have had local gentlemen doing peaches. So we got more this past Sunday. It's a time of year and you just don't get
They're in
that
season.
big, juicy peach the rest of the year.
So this cracker is a little savory and a little sweet. With,
That's what
it's got
one's-
the
yeah.
camembert and then the peach. That's a nice charcuterie tray. Did I say it right?
Yes, you did a good job.
Blah, blah, blah.
Okay, your cheese fork from taking
Oh,
it from the
that's
tray and then
clever.
putting
Who would have
it
thought of
on your
that?
plate. Go there. The heart-shaped. Now this is for hard cheese. So our pepper jack, which is a hard cheese, and there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, it just makes it so easy. Just got to remember to put them out when you're having a party. And then, of course, for your soft cheese like mozzarella or gorgonzola, it doesn't have a name. Some call it like a butter knife or a spreader. This is actually a spreader. So anyway, those are just some other things that you can embellish your table with. And then, like I said, these cheese balls you could make ahead and have in your freezer. And that's not the only thing. I mean, the nuts, so easy to make, and you could do mixed nuts. I mean, any kind of nuts that you might have on hand. So if somebody drops in or if you invite somebody over, you can just grab a few things and put them out so you have something to munch on while you have a cocktail or a mocktail. Doesn't matter. It could be.
You could have an alcohol.
Non-alcohol.
Yeah. It's not an adult beverage, but
It's okay. Yes.
Works.
Other things to have on hand. You know, you could do little snack mixes. My husband likes to make Chex Mix, you know, and you can keep that in the freezer in individual bags. And the cheese balls, I don't know if we have a picture of that, but like I said, those you can be put in the freezer. And this is all from the Sipping on a Southern Porch. And I believe what she did for that particular combination was the cheese balls and, no, those are the meat pies. Meat pies, again, very
Don't
easy.
confuse people.
You can make them ahead. You just take your puff pastry or your pastry dough, roll it out, and again, brown some ground meat, whether you want to do chicken, turkey. Again, we're just hot Italian sausage people, so that's pretty much my go-to. And then you fold them in half, egg wash, take a fork, again, put them on a cookie sheet, put them in the freezer, put them in bags, and then you have them. You take them out, and put them in, you know, into the oven, heat them up, and then you could serve. They would be excellent with the strawberry basil preserves.
that sounds good. You make it sound easy. I mean,
Well-
for me, it will be a bit of a struggle, but
I've been to your
I know
house
who
for
to
dinner.
call.
It's
I know
not-
who to call.
You always put on a beautiful dinner, so
You're too sweet. And you exaggerate, but thank
No,
you.
I don't.
Thank you.
Anyway, there is. What are your favorites?
Oh, in terms of the snacks?
Anything, or yeah, that like you, what you like to do when you have guests over.
Well, we like to do a salad bar, but that's more for dinner. We usually put out an assortment of olives and cheese if our guests like olives, and then we also have, you know, chips and dip in case we have people that don't like olives and would like something else. So we do try to cater what we put out to our guests' tastes, and because you're all friends, we know what you like and you don't like. So we
Yeah.
won't include anything we know that you're not going to eat.
Well,
It's
and-
pretty much what our guests want.
It's all about us.
It
well,
is
That,
all
I
about
feel
you.
special now.
All about you.
The other thing I know that you've put out are artichoke hearts.
Oh,
Again, something else you can have in your pantry. Just pull out, you know, and then, of course, add a little garnish, and you're good to go. And speaking of olives, I wish I would have done the recipe for adding like a little bit of lemon peel. But anyway, we'll save that for another time.
The one thing I think you liked the last time we had it was mozzarella balls that had like an Italian oil and vinegar on them.
Yeah.
So like a little fresh
The caprese
mozzarella salad.
Yes. Well, I want to say thank you for being my guest today.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope that everyone who's tuned in today has enjoyed it and would please subscribe. We are a nonprofit. You can help us grow. So I will be back next week, actually, for Designing with Casual Elegance. And again, thank you. Bye.
Bye.